Okay, it's day 126 here at CPAC. I think this is probably version 8. So this hotel is not going to be the center of the coup, the soft coup. The soft coup is going to be the Diplomat Hotel. And all the goings around the Diplomat Hotel is the headquarters of operations for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Much like the Watergate was the center of operations for Nixon, it's going to be, or the DNC back then, this is going to be the Diplomat Hotel, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It's this real pretty green hotel, this green glass, at least that's my recollection. It's also going to be the place where I compromise diplomats. Kind of makes sense. Diplomat Hotel, diplomats are going to stay there. I will compromise diplomats. Now, you have your choice of girls from all over the world to use. Why wouldn't you use the same girls that you used in Russia to compromise the girls or the diplomats in Russia? You just move those same girls to houses close by the diplomat and run your compromat operations there. This is what Andy McCabe did for 20 years overseas. Why wouldn't he do that same operation in Florida? Again, we have the same actors, and also in Virginia. We have the same actors, we have the same dynamics. We have kind of girls disappearing, girls kind of being held against their will, girls calling 911, Imran coming over and smacking them down, them going back to work, and so forth. Now, it only happened 3 times here in Virginia. We don't know how many times it happened over in Russia or Ukraine or wherever the operations were. But we know it happened 39 times at the 6166 location. Now, we have Krylova and BOGACHEVA. Okay, BOGACHEVA. These are the 2 people from the Russian indictment. 2 of the key people that run around all around the South doing things that somehow they elude the FBI. First, they do a toxic plume. Okay, they have a whole operation doing a toxic plume over New Orleans. Somehow the FBI doesn't catch them doing that. Then they try to create a race riot in Atlanta by putting out a fake story about a woman, an unarmed black woman being murdered. Then they try to come out with an Ebola scare. These are things that get picked up, you know, with the NSA. But somehow all of this stuff, these 1,000 people with this $1 million budget, goes somehow under the radar. Now that's BOGACHEVA and that's Krylova. Remember those 2 names, right? Krylova is crying about your love, and BOGACHEVA is like Bogota, where you have Che Guevara go, right? Both of those people end up within a mile of, let's just pretend this is the Diplomat Hotel. Both of those people from this recent indictment that Rod Rosenstein did end up within a mile of the Diplomat Hotel. Don't you find that a little bit odd? Okay. Not only that, the same street where this house is with 139 911 calls, 39 or 130, 39, is BOGACHEVA. Krylova lives on the same street, 80th Terrace, walking distance. Don't people find that somehow coincidental? The other thing is, on Ocean Boulevard, across from the Sea Island Hotel, just down the street from the Diplomat Hotel, right, BOGACHEVA lives there. What's the address?
She's on Euclid.
She's on Euclid, which is where Seth Rich lived on a Euclid here. That was like 2102 Euclid. But the Ocean address is interesting because it's actually where, I believe, where Jason's ex also lived. And there was this kind of little clutch of Russian girls that lived in this hotel. Now, I'm not saying Jason's ex was in any way involved in this, but I do remember the location very well because that's where we went to pick up his ex-wife. What was the location? Yeah, it was Hollywood Beach, and it wasn't Miami Beach. It was Hollywood Beach, and it was Ocean Boulevard, and I thought it was 7554. But it was directly, BOGACHEVA lived directly across from the Sea Island Hotel. You can look that up. Jason said I made it up, so now I have to be more specific. I didn't want to be. But that is, don't people find that a little odd? That at one end, where the girls may have been held against their will. Remember, we have the 3 911 calls and the 3 beatings here in Virginia. This is the same guy who started with Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida. He's the guy with her top. He's the guy with her password. He's the guy with her BlackBerries who configures her BlackBerries for her teams in the Congress. Don't you find it odd that he would be at that 6166 location? Krylova would be at that 6166 location. And then at Debbie Wasserman Schultz's base of operations, the Diplomat Hotel, across the street is Bogacheva. Don't people find that a little interesting? The other fact is there's two other Russian lawyers involved. One is Westerman. The other one is Irina Rostova, who also specializes in EB5s. Don't people find it odd that the Andy McCabe shut down a big EB5 investigation in Miami with the Miami field office of FBI, and the guy who died right outside the door of the Diplomat Hotel, supposedly committed suicide. I don't know who hits them themselves over the head with a blunt object, then shoots themselves in the head, then drowns themselves. It just seems like an odd series of events. Again, we have in the very next hotel, the Trump Hollywood Hotel, we have another key conspirator in this whole thing from the PP dossier, Sergei Millian, saying, yes, I went to Gulfstream Park, which is about less than a mile away, to get to meet Trump in his private box. And we started putting diplomats into Trump Hollywood Hotel. Then Uranov, the Trump Ukrainian diplomat who did deals with Paul Manafort and Paul Podesta, ends up dying. And about 8 different Russian diplomats die in the space of about 3 months. Isn't that interesting? So there's just a lot of coincidences, and we're just doing frequency analysis, not trying to, I'm not trying to make anything up. I'm just trying to lay the facts out. If I've got something wrong, correct me, please. Anything to add, Task Force, other than?
No, just that if people can really think about when the indictment came out, the 13-page indictment the indictment that came out with the 13 Russians, you realize that 2 of the key figures in that, Krylova and Bogacheva.
The shooting was the next
Right,
day.
the shooting was the next day in Parkland, and Krylova is directly traced to the same street where the shooter lived, in a house, probably, I don't know, half a mile away.
So, I mean, it could have been Krylova was at the girls where they lived, and Bogacheva was over at, staging them right before the diplomat gets to the hotel. I mean, isn't that kind of exactly what happened in Virginia? So
the facts are just it's too much.
Too coincidental.
Right, crossing over here, and then you have the kids coming out that are kind of rehearsed.
And now we have a picture of Nellie Orr maybe meeting with one of the FBI kids.
Right.
Now, nothing wrong with standing in for somebody who has had a traumatic situation occur. But I think you should say, hey, I'm an FBI kid. I went to FBI school and dramatic school or the Greenberg school, whatever, and etc. So just a lot of weird stuff it's all coming down to one hotel, the Diplomat Hotel.